This is In Demand Uncut with Jim Gellatly at the cutting edge of new music.
Glorious, it's Kaiser Chiefs on In Demand Uncut, playing Ruby and Listen to Your Head, which is one of the new tracks on the singles collection Souvenirs. Is it quite difficult deciding on the running order for an album like this?
I don't know. Is it quite difficult, Nick?
No, I just knocked it up on a train on a serviette.
Really?
Yeah.
And then we got an email and it had the list, and there were no objections because they're all pretty good.
Because you could have just
If
done
there
it.
were some really weak ones in there, then we'd have to hide them.
You could have just done it chronologically,
Yeah.
but there is a sort of. I mean, there must be some sort
I
of
think
format to it.
it's no, I don't know. Just mix them all up. It seems to work.
Do you think it's restricted you by having a singles collection rather than a best of where you could pick any songs from your back catalogue?
But I think it's a sort of.
It's good to have a bit of restriction on something like this.
I think what this is like a compendium as opposed to sort of like when Queen bring out the greatest hits. It's a bit different, isn't it? It's like it really is the greatest hits. This is literally our singles on one CD.
The music industry is constantly developing, and especially in recent years with digital technology coming to the fore. Are there any particular aspects from that album and the way that you released it that you think it will become the norm in the future? I mean, even now, you might not buy a whole album off iTunes. You might just select the tracks that you want.
Yeah, that's that. Everybody does that. We kind of wanted to sort of control a bit of that. Like you go on iTunes and you just choose 2 or 3 songs from an album. We kind of knew about that and wanted to introduce it to actually our album. Do I think there'll be any elements that will go on into the future?
No, you don't. I don't know. It's weird because I like that. My favourite element is the fact that there was some ownership of the download. When I download a record, like yesterday, I don't feel like I bought it. It's basically just you get an email with a receipt and that's it. There's no feeling.
I think the artwork, the whole way we did it was you could design your own artwork as well. We had all the bits that you could take and make and do whatever you wanted with it. I think that could work in the future. I think that's a good. That could be the future.
On to Souvenir again. Talking of artwork, it's brilliant with a stick of rock. Where's that come from?
It came from, we were in Blackpool and we were doing a video that we didn't really have time to do, so we did it when we were doing a gig. And while we were in Blackpool, in the morning we went to a rock factory and had that made. And it was an idea that had been floating around but hadn't really been talked about or set in stone. But then we had the rock made, and it was going to be part of the video. So we wrote Souvenir through it because we already had the name for the album. And so we had the stick of rock, and I was going to photograph it for the cover. And then while it was being made, I just remembered that I had a friend that painted sweets, basically. And that kind of was the obvious thing. We got her to do it. And
do a lot of people know that it's a paint? Do you know it's a painting?
I only know it's a painting because I saw you on BBC Breakfast talking about it.
Right.
But it's a good painting.
Yeah,
it's
it's excellent. You'd think it was a photograph.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Which begs the question, why not just get a photograph?
Yeah.
But
The
it's nice.
the photograph that she painted from isn't as good. I'll show you it later on.
Wow.
On my iPad.
Well, there's more depth to it.
It's hyper real.
Hyper real.
Yeah.
2 new songs on Souvenir. Are these tracks that have been floating around for a while? Were they written specifically?
Let me think. Listen to Your Head was definitely written specifically. And
Actually, it was on the run, not on the American version of the album.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it wasn't written specifically for this. So what was that written for?
A laugh.
Yeah, I can't remember why. Maybe I don't know. I really don't know. But it was written. That's for sure.
Because it was on the American version of The Future is Medieval, which was called something else. Why?
Start the revolution without me.
Why was that?
Just to complicate matters
Do
even
the
further.
Americans not know what medieval is?
This is like the modern world is the modern world of selling records. I think we've done our share of trying to confuse it ourselves, because we did put out the most confusing way of buying a record last year. But it is the most confusing.
I'm glad you said it.
If you could have the equivalent of pound shops in the record industry, it would be a lot easier, because then everyone would just know it's a pound. And I mean, now it's like, so the Americans want the album, but they want different songs, and they want a slightly different name and a different sleeve. You're like, all right. And then the Japanese want something else, and then so it's the whole thing is confusing.
In Demand. Uncut.